bring up Leon again because I was curious
That
to
was
know
the initial question.
exactly what was your relationship like with him? Were you guys close, or you just
Little to none.
Really?
Yeah, he was Leon Russell. He was like Mr. Hollywood, you know. He was like the number one. He was hooked up with all those top players out there, you know.
Well, times were different then, and suddenly people were moving to Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
It was a different time then. They weren't staying in the South. They were all going to
Yeah,
L.A.
everybody was going to L.A. It was a big deal to go to Hollywood and L.A. Well, they would say, like the people where I came from, well, he's gone Hollywood, you know.
It's so weird. Nobody would say that.
Yeah, he's gone Hollywood.
So wasn't that the problem between Dwayne and Greg?
Oh, yeah, Greg wanted to, he wanted to live in Hollywood, and Dwayne didn't. They had a big falling out, he and Dwayne. And that's when Dwayne called me little brother, you know, because he and his brother were not on speaking terms.
Well, you two were close. You
yeah, yeah.
And he taught. Didn't he teach you some how to use the slide and all that?
Yeah, he gave me a couple of Corseed and Cold Pill bottles. My Martin guitar was he took the strings off and put the first set of strings on it, tuned it up to open E, and showed me how to play in an open E.
And then you showed me.
Yeah, yeah. I've shown everybody
awesome.
what little I know.
So,
you know,
I mean,
it doesn't take but about a minute and a half.
You and Dwayne spent considerable amount of time together?
Yeah, well, I knew him through Delaney and Bonnie when we went down to do, to Bonnie from Delaney, and that won't get off into that. But they brought Dwayne on the scene down there and introduced him, trying to pull Delaney and Bonnie out of the hole that they had gotten themselves into. And Dwayne fit perfectly, and he and Delaney hit it off.
So the hole you're talking about is like wasn't it
a musical hole,
a songwriting hole?
Yeah, Delaney had run out. He had run dry, and his creative well was empty. And they brought Dwayne down and started filling the well, you know.
Well, that's what producers will do.
Yeah, but see, I wasn't able to spend a lot of time with Dwayne because they had him surrounded. Same thing they did with Eric, you know. I didn't get close to Dwayne until, as we were doing those last couple of albums, you know.
Right.
We got closer, but it wasn't until we recorded the Layla album that I got to really spend any time with him.
Right.
You know. But same thing with Eric. I didn't get to spend any time with Eric when he was with Delaney and Bonnie. They had him swarmed, you know. He was completely swarmed.
I can see that happening. So what about, there's always a lot of controversy over the song Superstar. Can you just give me some
that's excellent.
About how that was written?
We were on our radio tour, and Leon and Rita were an item, all right? But it was Alan Pariser, Delaney and Bonnie, and me. And we ran into Leon, and Rita just happened to be staying in the same dang hotel that we were in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, we were all convened. Alan had the best weed on the planet, the very best marijuana there was. And we was all...
Alan Pariser?
Yeah, he had the best cocaine and marijuana in the whole of L.A.
And he was the manager.
He was the manager, yeah. And he's dead now. His mom and daddy owned the Sweetheart Dixie Lily Cup Company.
You liked Alan Pariser.
I mean, I loved Alan. He was a great guy. And but he had the best pot there was. But we was holed up in Leon's room, smoking some weed. Guitar, Delaney, Bonnie, Rita, Leon, Alan, and me. And I'm all ears and eyes. I kept my mouth shut and my ears and eyes open, you know, until it was time for me to sing, you know, because all these people that I was around, they were huge, you know.
They're much older than you.
They're much older than me. And I was still a teenager. And so I was listening and learning. But Rita got chit-chatting, and she said, I had this dream last night. And it was Eric coming over, was playing over the radio. And she said, and she was talking about it, she said, about her dream. And immediately, Delaney starts singing and playing with the guitar, him and Leon. They run all of us out. So we didn't get to
What was it? I mean,
Hear it.
didn't she talk about the dream or what it was about? Or?
Yeah. Well,
So that's what gave premise to them going, oh, song,
yeah,
song.
her dream.
Right.
And so they started started writing Superstar, groupie song. And
Yeah, it was about a groupie. That's what the whole
yeah.
premise was.
And having a dream about being with the superstar, all right?
Right.
And Delaney and Leon locked themselves in Leon's room, kicked us out. We all went to Alan's room, rolled up some weed. The girls said, well, they won't let us in on it. Well, we'll just go write our own. So Rita and Bonnie went to Rita's room, or Bonnie's room, and I just stayed there with Alan and smoking weed. And I could hear Delaney and Bonnie. They were across the hall, 2 doors down.
You mean Delaney and Leon?
Delaney and Leon, sorry. I could hear them down there writing
Oh, my God.
Superstar. It was amazing. So Alan and I were just sitting there listening. And I went on down to the door, Leon's door.
What did you hear?
It was amazing. Listening to all that go down, and then went back, and then the phone rings, and they said, "Come down and check this out." And so then they called everybody.
Did Leon have a piano in his room?
No, they wrote it on guitar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You can hear such an influence. You can hear Leon's so strong in there, those chord changes.
Yeah.
But, and I'm sure that Delaney had a lot to do with both of them with the lyrics. But could you
Long
tell?
ago and so far away, I fell in love with you.
Before
the second show, your guitar, it sounds so sweet and clear, but it's just a radio, and you're not really here. You know?
I can see them putting that together.
Yeah, man. I mean, when she told her dream, it was like, boom, they wrote it. Rita had nothing to do with it. Neither did Bonnie. I didn't have any. If Bonnie and Rita had something to do with Superstar, so did I, and so did Alan Pariser. Because we all listened to her talk about her dream, but then they took it and turned it into a song. You know, she didn't start singing it and making it like a book.
I know how that works because you do the same dang thing.
Yeah, that's how what it is. Writing a song, it's like you have an invisible key to this invisible door, and when you turn that key and that door opens, it all comes out, just like a painting. There's no difference, except one is tangible and the other isn't. Like a song isn't tangible. Poetry, books, they're not tangible. You can touch the atom, but the essence of it you cannot touch.
And ironically, the song was really going to be given to Bonnie to sing.
Yeah, it was Bonnie's song. Oh, and then the big dollar came, and Karen Carpenter.
But then Rita had her version, didn't she?
Well, it was long before Bonnie, but Karen Carpenter was the first one.
They just gave it to
Oh, hell, it was Karen Carpenter all over. But see, we were with Elektra Asylum then. Mm-hmm. And David Anderle was he was the producer, and he's also hooked up with the Carpenters. So they slipped that in, but Bonnie sang it, but it was like a B-side, She sang it and just killed it,
Sure.
And all Rita got out of it was that was her dream, And she recorded it. I'm not going to talk about that, but they brought Rita along with us on the road to go to England, and all she did was sing my part and stand in the way. All right, it wasn't bad enough I had Bobby Keys and Jim Price there, and I've got this goddamn big Hammond B3. I'm a huge piece of furniture in front of me. All you can see is my head,
Oh, you can
That's it. All B3 players, they stack the thing up so they can see over the organ. Yeah, hell yeah. Well, and then got Rita here singing my part,
So, but it must have been quite
frustrating,
quite devastating to Bonnie to lose
totally devastating.
Because that should have been her hit.
That would have been Bonnie's hit, but see, Delaney wasn't going to let that happen. It was Delaney and Bonnie and friends, not Bonnie and Delaney. Those people are like Jim Keltner still calls them Bonnie and Delaney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, boy, when we were Bonnie and Delaney, it was so. Yeah, Delaney's ego was so huge he could ride it. You know, he could actually get up on it and ride it like a horse.